Hi, folks. Today's date is Wednesday, the 30th of August, 2017. It is almost 7 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, and that means it's going to be time for our monthly Global Tarot Circle. I thank you so much for being here. We'll be starting in just one moment. We are about 2 minutes away from our official start time, so I wanted to get all set up. And I see people are starting to come on in. So when you get here, just use the comments and introduce yourself. Tell us where in the world you are. Tell us how long you've been working with tarot. What tarot deck are you working with tonight? I tonight am working with my trusty Universal Weight, one of my favorites. So I see people are here. I see Tracy is here. I see Leisha is here. So great to see you. I'm actually using my brand new computer and a new computer program to do this. So I'll be interested to see how it works out. I think it's going to be pretty good. I can actually see people coming in, which I couldn't before. So that's terrific. I see Kristen here. Hi, Kristen. Nice to see you. So here's what we're going to do. I see Karen is here. Hi, Karen. So glad that you all are here. In 1 minute, we will officially start. What we'll be doing for the next hour is discussing tarot. We'll be doing tarot readings for each other. We will do some sharing of ideas. If you're not members of the Global Tarot Circle Facebook group, please do join. There we can share the exercises we do. We can share our blog posts throughout the month. And it's also where I go to ask for what the heck should we talk about for Global Tarot Circle. So we got a couple of great ideas. And I see a few people here coming in. We've got Tram Tiffany, who is using the Mystical Tarot tonight. Very nice. So what I typically do, and I think this is going to be easier, even though my program is showing me what you're saying right on the screen, which is kind of cool. I'm actually going to use my phone here to find the feed. And that way I'll be able to keep track of the thread as it builds. And here we are. Okay, good. Oh, okay, hang on. Better turn down the volume. Okay. Okay, very good. I think we got it. Okay. Very good. So, here's how we play. When you get in, introduce yourself. Tell us where in the world you are. Tell us how long you've been working with tarot. Tell us what deck you're working with. And if you have a burning question, go ahead and share it in the comments. What's a burning question? A burning question could be a question about tarot. It could be a reading you've done that you don't understand. It could be a card you keep getting that doesn't make sense. It could be a question about reversals or court cards or spreads or anything else. That could be a burning question. A burning question could also be the sort of question that you ask a room full of tarot readers. A question about your life, something you'd like to know. We usually spend a little more than the first half hour doing readings for each other and playing that way. Okay, so Irene's here and she's using the Anna Kay deck today. Tracy's here using Tarot. I don't know that deck. Tell us about that. I don't know about it. Okay, Jerry's here from South Palm Beach, Florida, so we're neighbors. I'm here in Palm City, Florida, and I'm so happy to see all of you. While people are coming in, I'm just going to do a moment of shameless self-promotion, and I invite you all to do shameless self-promotion as well. If you've got a website, if you've got a blog, if you've got an Etsy site, whatever you're doing in the world of tarot and metaphysics, let us know about it. Go ahead and drop a link right in the comments so we can all know what you're doing and we can support you. So I will do my shameless self-promotion verbally. I am available for readings by phone, Skype, FaceTime, and Messenger from anywhere in the world. I'm also available for in-person readings here in my Palm City office, and Palm City's in the Treasure Coast of Florida, just about 30 miles north of West Palm Beach. I also travel, and I'm getting ready to do a tour. I will be in the Upper East Side of New York City doing readings by appointment for 2 days, Thursday, September 7th and Friday, September 8th. So if you happen to be in the city those days, reach out to me and we can schedule an in-person reading right there in New York City. I also want to let you know that I will be in Connecticut. Really, the New York City trip is like an adjunct to the Connecticut trip. So I will be in Connecticut starting really the 9th through the 19th. I'm doing house parties in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. I'm also doing private readings in Madison, Connecticut. So reach out to me wherever you are in the world. We'll find a way to make it work. Okay, so Tracy is telling us about Tarot. It's a tarot based on rats. It's awesome and a very chatty deck from Nikisha on Etsy. So that's very cool. My daughter used to have a lot of pet rats. I had like 6 grand rats. So I think she would really like that deck. I'm going to turn her on to that. Okay, let's see. Julie is here from Palm Beach Gardens. Maria is here. So Amy is here and she has dropped her link for Soul Fluent, which is her business. Alicia is here from Connecticut. Barbara from Port St. Lucie, just down the road. So glad that you are all here. So who has a burning question? We always like to start with burning questions. If you have a question, and Tracy has just dropped her link, she is Black Cat Tarot Readings. Pierre's here from Montreal. Very nice. Okay, glad you're all here. If you have a question, go ahead and just drop it in the comments. A question about tarot or a question for the cards. Is there something that you would like to know? While we're fishing for questions, let me tell you some of the topics we're going to be talking about tonight, and we can start with them as well if you'd prefer. So when I asked in our Facebook group, Global Tarot Circle, what should we talk about tonight, I got 2 requests. One is about when you're reading professionally or semi-professionally and you're out in public and you want to do those quick readings that really get attention, that get people to take your business cards. How do you do those quick readings in a public space? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about how to stay fresh. When you get to a point working with the same deck, or, it's happened to me even when I switch decks, where after a while things feel a little stale. What do we do about that? Those are going to be the things we're going to be talking about. And here are the questions. Okay, so we're going to start with Pierre. So glad you're here, Pierre. This is how it works. Many of you have your decks. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to share Pierre's question. I'll do a reading on it, and then I'm going to ask anyone who wants to pull one card, share it in the comments, and here's how you're going to do this, because this goes pretty quickly. We'll do quite a few readings over the next few moments. You're going to say the name of the person, in this case, Pierre, the card you got, and your interpretation of it. Don't just say, Pierre, 6 of Swords, Pierre, 6 of Swords, and what it means to you in the context of the question. Give the actual reading. This way, as a group all across the world, we're working together to do readings. So, we're going to start with Pierre. The question, and this is an interesting question. This is a question that actually has 2 components to it that some readers might not want to do. It's a health reading and it's a third-party reading. So some readers are very uncomfortable reading about health for obvious reasons. Your doctor, of course, is your best source of health information. The thing is, I have doctors who call me when they can't figure stuff out. So as long as we are not suggesting that we know more than doctors or that what we do is a substitute for proper medical care, I think it's okay to check in on health. Now, the other piece of this is it's a third-party reading. What's a third-party reading? A third-party reading is when we read on someone who has not asked for the reading. In this case, it's Pierre's mom. Some readers don't like to do this. There are times it can feel like spying. There are times it can feel invasive. And there are times, I think, when people ask for third-party readings, not out of concern for another person, as Pierre has, but, once in a while, I'll talk to someone who wants to know how often her ex-husband and his new wife have sex. That's a third-party reading I don't want to do. Okay? You can see the difference. So, go ahead, and if you would like, let's look at Pierre's mom. He wants to know what's happening with his mother and her health. So go ahead, Pierre, the name of the card, and the answer you get from that card about his mom and her health. So I pulled the Knight of Wands. And the Knight of Wands typically is not a card we would associate with someone's mother. That would more likely be the son, perhaps Pierre himself. But in the context of the question, how is mom and her health? I find this a hopeful card. There have been some problems, and one thing about the Knight of Wands is sometimes when we look at this card, we see some bumbling. Maybe there's ways she hasn't been compliant in her own health care. Maybe there are doctors who didn't quite figure it out or figure out what's going on yet. But overall, this is a hopeful message. I think there are issues, but I think she'll be okay. Now, let's take a look, and we've got more questions here. I don't see any other readings for Pierre's mother, so if you'd like to read for Pierre's mother, go ahead and put that in. Otherwise, my take on it, I think she'll be okay. So, now let's see who's next. Tracy, this is a good question. Tracy wants to know, what are people's thoughts on reading for people who have passed on? That's an interesting third-party reading. So I think there are a lot of us that see ourselves as natural mediums, and there are many of us who incorporate mediumship work with tarot. I actually teach a class on how to do spirit communication with tarot. I believe that tarot is a tool that will help all of us become more mediumistic, that will help all of us hear the voice of spirit. So I'd like to ask all of you who have an opinion or an experience with this. The question is about reading for those who have passed on. Go ahead and chat in your feelings about this. Do you do it? How do you do it? What do you think about it? Do you think it can be done? Is it a good idea, bad idea? What do you think? Go ahead and chat in and share your thoughts and feelings here. I will tell you that I do it very much as part of my work. Sometimes I believe those who have passed on show up in the readings without even asking for them. I will see the Empress, and I am very sure that this is a person's mother in spirit who has passed on, who wants to be present for the reading. Things like that. Or I'll see a child, say the Page of Cups, and I'll see that child and we'll find out that the person has in fact lost a young child. So sometimes they just come up. Now, when I want to look at someone who has passed on, I do have a very specific protocol for it. In fact, there's a YouTube video. If you go to my YouTube channel, which is just my name, Christiana Gaudet, you'll find I've given my protocol for doing mediumship with tarot. I will share with you the very abbreviated version right here. Basically, what I do is I think about the person in life. Who was this person in life? Pull a couple cards to get a sense of the person in life. Then, if it seems pertinent, I'll look at the passing on experience. What did the person experience when they passed on? Pull some cards for that. Then I'll look for a message. What's the person doing? And again, pull some cards. Now, as I'm doing this, oftentimes words, images, thoughts come into my head separate from what I'm seeing in the cards, but I do feel the card is a vehicle, the cards are a vehicle that open me up to this. So, I see a lot of people commenting. Let's see what people have to say about that. Okay, let's see. We've got some readings for Pierre here. Amy's asking me to teach the mediumship class online. It's a good idea. I probably should. And well, Joanne's here. Hi, Joanne. Glad you're here. Reading for Pierre. Okay. And so let's go back and let's look at the answers for Pierre. So from Amy, Pierre, She got the Ace of Swords. Makes me wonder if there's a surgery coming up or if there's a new idea or approach that may be beneficial. Very good. And we welcome Lola here, who's here from Greensboro, North Carolina. And she's got a question too. We'll get back to that. From Julie for Pierre, we've got the Death card, which we're taking as transformation from one step to the next, not specifically a physical death. Although, you know what I always say about that? Everyone you know is going to die, you know? That's why to me the Death card doesn't really look at physical death because everyone's going to die. So, you know, transition, very good. From Irene, for Pierre, we've got the Eight of Swords reversed and the Six of Wands. Limited self-beliefs, but someone helps. Maybe it's Pierre himself helping his mom. Okay, from Joanne for Pierre, the Two of Wands. I don't think she's looking at the whole picture and what her options are. She or the family needs to reevaluate the situation and how it affects the entire family. Now, Amy had something to say about tarot for mediumship. She says, I find the cards incredibly helpful in communicating messages. Loved ones come through all the time with my clients and readings as well. Okay, and Julie says, I do mediumship by checking in energetically, not through tarot. They usually just come to me. Sure, absolutely. And Tracy says, awesome. Yes, I did this after watching you on YouTube concerning my cousin's passing, and it was really good. Good. That's great. Okay, very good. Now let's get back to some more questions. And I'm getting reports that the video is freezing now and then. I think that's just the nature of it. You know, it's the nature of the free platform. And really, with this group, we put Facebook through its paces. We often end up having, you know, literally hundreds of people here. So if the video freezes, let's just hope it's not me with my mouth in a funny position. That's all. Okay, it will come back. Be patient. Okay, so let's see. Questions. We're looking for questions. I know there's some here. Okay, let's do, oh, I see Maureen's here. Hi, Maureen. I'm going back here. Oh, Amy, you have been keeping something from me. Amy's question, which is very revealing. Amy wants to know, what do I need to know about my upcoming wedding plans? Huh. Now, maybe you did tell me this, but I don't remember that this was happening. So, okay, the question is for Amy. It's about her upcoming wedding plans. So you know what to do. Write her name, Amy, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does Amy need to know about her upcoming wedding plans? I got the Two of Pentacles reversed. My dear, there is only so much time, money, and energy in the day. You are probably not going to have the time, money, or energy to have the wedding of your dreams, but that's okay because you are marrying the man of your dreams. Don't overstress yourself. Keep it simple. Keep it spiritual. It will be good. That's what I have to say. And Amy says she kind of mentioned it in passing, right? And I was probably all on about something else and didn't grab onto it. I should have, and I apologize. I see Allison is here. Allison, we're going to handle your question later on about staying fresh. Was that you? I think that was you. And Steve is here from Allentown. Hey, Steve, nice to see you. Okay, so we're doing Amy's upcoming wedding plans. Then we've got a few other questions to do. And, Natalie is here. I haven't seen you in a long time, Natalie. Glad you're here. Mary is here. Mary, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods soon. Would love to see you. So I'm glad you all are here. And if you want to do a reading for Amy's wedding, go ahead. In the meanwhile, let's go to another question. And the next question we're gonna do, okay, Leisha, managing work stress. Leisha wants to know how he can manage his work stress. So you know the deal, his name, Leisha, the card you got, and what you can tell him about managing his work stress. I got the High Priestess reversed. So there's a couple things here, Leisha. Something may be out of balance. Someone may not be doing the work that they should be doing, Okay, someone may not be doing the work that they should be doing, and so too much is falling to you. You may also be too much of a perfectionist, wanting either your own work or other people's work to be a certain way, a way that it's not, and for whatever reason cannot be. So you may need to be less of a perfectionist. You may need to bring things more into balance. That's what I think. Go ahead, and we've got 2 readings going on right now. We've got Leisha's work stress and Amy's wedding. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so from Irene, for Amy, the sun. Very bright, happy, shining event. Congratulations. And I've spoken with Ryan, her intended. He's an awesome dude. This will be good. This will be really good. And the sun makes me wonder if it's going to be outdoors or if some part of that wedding will in fact be outdoors. Lynette is here. Glad to see you. From Joanne, for Amy, the Queen of Cups and the 4 of Wands. Very emotional time, but will be a happy event. Lots of emotions, but in a happy way. And how beautiful. I always see the 4 of Wands as the traditional marriage card. And the Queen of Cups, of course, as Amy the bride. How beautiful. From Tracy, for Amy, the 6 of Swords. Have you thought about having the ceremony near water by any chance? It should be very peaceful, I feel. From Tram Tiffany, for Amy, 6 of Swords. There's second 6 of Swords. Ask others for help with your wedding plans. It might be rough but with some efforts, the wedding will be smooth sailing. Beautiful. Okay, from Martha. Hi, Martha. For Leisha's work stress. The 9 of Swords. It's keeping you up worrying about it, but not all that going on is your burden to bear. Oh my gosh, I so agree with that. Amy says he is the man of my dreams for sure. From Julie, for Leisha, the 4 of Swords. How about some rest and chill time to manage your stress? Good call. And Lori's here. I can't believe we started without Lori, my curly-headed friend. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. From Amy says, yes, the wedding is outdoors, trying to decide mountains or beach. I think you have a couple of votes here for beach. Because of the sun and because of the water and the 6 of Swords, people are voting for beach, I think. Okay, let's see. From Joanne, for Leisha, the Chariot. Take control. Don't let anyone run over you at work. Be in charge of how you do it, feel about it, and don't let it stress you. Okay, from Tram Tiffany. For Leisha, 4 of Swords. That's the second 4 of Swords. This is why I love doing it. We start to see repetitive cards. And I think that's so cool. Amy's gotten 6 of Swords twice. Leisha's gotten 4 of Swords twice. How cool is that? Okay, let's see. Where did I go here? Okay. Laura, you don't have to apologize for being late. I'm glad you're here. Diana's here. Glad to see you. We're even live. And let me just take a moment out to say, if you're watching this and wondering why we're not interacting with you, today's date is the 30th of August, 2017. We're running this between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if it's any other day or time, we're not live anymore. But still watch because, hey, it's fun. You'll learn something. Okay. From Irene, for Leisha, the Magician. Use your skills for self-advantage. You have the ability to see both sides, to see the perspective of any project. And Amy says her wallet vouches for the beach as well. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That's beautiful. Okay, let's go to another question now. I'm just rolling back to find another question here. And I see Kristen is here. Kristen, I'm going to be in your neck of the woods soon, just saying. And Lee is here. Hi, Lee. And let's see. I know there's a question back here. Okay. We are going, and if I don't get to everyone's question, I apologize. I'm just trying to scroll through and find them. And it's always a busy, crazy hour here. If we don't get to everyone's questions, we'll do it again next month. Okay, Lola. Lola asks, would it be too much to ask what I should expect for the month of September? I'm leaving it open, So any advice is fair game. So that's always an interesting one. Like if someone is asking, what can I expect for the year? I'll pull 12 cards, one card for each month. In a reading, if someone said, what should I expect for September? I might do 4 cards, one for each week. But I think for this context, what makes sense is we're all going to do our one card thing, something that Lola can expect in September. Okay? So Lola is her name. Put the name of the card and what you think Lola should be looking out for in the month of September. Okay, here we go. What should Lola expect in September? The Page of Swords reversed. So if you have kids, there may be an issue with one of your kids, not anything serious, but maybe behavioral or educational. If you yourself are a student or thinking about being a student, there may be some issues around that. There may be some issues around what to study or what to do. If neither of those apply, with the Page of Swords reversed, I would say a communication issue. So there may be something about a kid. There may be a communication issue that you have to work on. Maybe you're a writer and you need to focus more on your writing. There may also be something about school or education that you have to deal with. That's what I get from the Page of Swords reversed for Lola. Okay, let's see what else we have going on here. Okay. For Amy's wedding from Julie, the Wheel of Fortune, ups and downs, but you look happy to me. Excuse me, so just roll with it no matter what. Let's see. Let me get down here. Diana, I do so like you. You're so silly. Okay. From Lola for Amy, the King of Wands. No wonder he's the man of your dreams. This is going to be a good and happy marriage. Congrats to the both of you. Okay, for Lola from Joanne, 7 and 8 of Pentacles plus the Ace of Swords. Money coming in from writing or through the mail. Maybe do some writing. Yeah, we're getting this writing thing for you, Lola. If you're not a writer, maybe you should be. For Maureen, for Lola, the Sun. It will be a good month, and Maureen wants to know if you're expecting. Interesting question. From Diane, for Lola, the Two of Wands. Diane, go ahead and put your interpretation there. What do you think that means? From Tracy, for Lola, the Chariot, perhaps a road trip to somewhere. Visitors from overseas or interstate. News from a distance. A choice between two things in some way. From Tram Tiffany, for Lola, the Four of Wands, celebration, maybe some occasion to celebrate with your friends. Fun times to look forward to. Okay. And Lola says she's not expecting yet. So, how many people here have predicted unexpected pregnancies and been right? Have busted pregnant people and been right? Oh yeah, it can happen. From Irene for Lola, the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Planning where to invest for the better result. Take your time. And Jennifer's here. Hi, Jennifer. Nice to see you. Lori's late and hoping to sneak in a question. We'll see how it goes. Oh, but this is so easy. I'm going to jump Lori ahead of the line, and I am so sorry, but it's a really easy question, and she's here faithfully every time, so I'm just going to do her because I see the question. I apologize. Don't get mad at me. Lori has applied for a receptionist position. Does she have a chance at it? Page of Cups reversed, not my favorite. That is not my favorite. But then the Knight of Swords, which says yes. So I'm really 50-50 here. If anyone has a clear idea, yes or no, if Lori's going to get this job, go ahead and let her know. And we'll do questions for another few moments. So let me go back to the line. And let's see what we've got here. And if I've skipped you and you're really wanting to get your reading, go ahead and put it back in the comments. Just put it in again, because it's hard to keep scrolling back because we have so many people here, which is awesome. I'm not complaining. Okay. So, okay. Denia, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Denia, maybe? I see your name all the time. Read it, not said it. So I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. She's not having luck finding a place to live, and she needs it by October 31st. So October 31st, of course, is a very auspicious day. It's the Witch's New Year. Great time to move, but nerve-wracking if you can't find a place. So, the name is spelled D-E-N-E-A. Denia, maybe? What can we tell her about finding a new home, finding a new place to live? Put her name, the card you got, and your interpretation of the card. Let's see what we see. Strength reversed. So obviously there's some frustration here. But then right after it, the Magician. And I think it's cool that these are two major arcana cards. So I feel like spiritually, this is an important move. This is a necessary move. You will find what you're looking for. Don't be frustrated. Use the tools and skills and abilities that you have to find what you're looking for. Remember that the Magician is a messenger. Talk to people, communicate, look in all the right places, and you will find what you're looking for without a problem, in my opinion. Everyone else, go ahead and do that reading. And let's see what else we've got here. Okay, Natalie wants to know about work and career. Let's go ahead and do that. And so this is, again, Natalie is her name. She wants to know about her work and career. If you want to do this reading, go ahead with her name, the card, and what it means to you. For Natalie, Nine of Pentacles reversed. We all know this is not the best career card, but what it really suggests is a sense of insecurity. Now, that could be financial insecurity, but I think it's something more. I think when we talk about work and career, I don't know if you don't know what you want to do, or you do know what you want to do, but you haven't done enough to make it happen. I feel like it starts with you. There's something you have to do, either about choosing what you want, or developing greater personal confidence, or developing more education or credentials. There's something you need to do to turn this right side up. And so right now we're going to do a little bit of tarot magic for Natalie. So Rachel Pollack says, and I quote her often, that reversing a card can be a magical act. And so I'd like to do this magic for Natalie. What Natalie needs is the Nine of Pentacles in its upright position, in its full dignity. She needs that confidence. She needs that security. She needs that money. She needs to feel confident in herself, in her ability to make money, and in her career path. So focus on this with me just for a moment as we turn it over and invite that energy in for Natalie. As we turn this card over, we release the insecurity for Natalie and help her embrace a greater sense of security. So let's see what we got going on here. Okay. Okay. So from Kristen for Lola, we've got the Seven of Wands. You will overcome the obstacles, but maybe try to keep from developing. I'm not quite getting this. Oh, I get it. Maybe keep from developing a me against them mentality. Got it. Diana thinks that maybe Lori needs to be more assertive to get her job. From Joanne for Lori, the Nine of Swords needs to reflect on whether she really would be happy with that job. Maureen for Lori got the Ten of Pentacles, so says yes, Lori will get the job. Tracy, Lori, Five of Pentacles, perhaps not, but I think something will come to you from work that you have done in the past. And here's Erin. Nice to see you. Okay, from Julie for Lori, the Hermit reversed. I have the feeling that if you get the job, you're not going to enjoy it. Maybe just not the right fit for you. Okay, and here's a question from Karen, I want to take care of here. It's about Rowdy the Dalmatian. Rowdy the Dalmatian is ill. How do we feel about the best way to help him? Obviously, we're seeing the vet regularly. This isn't a medical question. Karen wants to know how to support her Dalmatian Rowdy as they deal with his illness. So, this is for Karen. Put her name there, the card, and what it means to you. Let's see what we've got. How can Karen help Rowdy the Dalmatian? Interestingly, once again, I got the Magician. And so there's a couple things there. First of all, as a spiritual person, do not forget the power of prayer, magic, using spiritual energy, Reiki. Do not, however you see that, do not forget the power of energy medicine as part of this. The other thing with the Magician, there's so much communication here. Talk to Rowdy. I mean, I know you guys have a really good relationship, but really trying to do communication with Rowdy, not just talking at Rowdy, but talking to Rowdy and listening. You know, if you haven't taken a class or read a book in animal communication, you of all people should. I swear to goodness, you're such a psychic person. You're such an animal person. You should totally do this, not just for Rowdy, but for you and for all the other animals in your life. Seriously. That's what I think. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay, from Amy, Lori, the Wheel of Fortune, it looks like you have a chance. If not this job, then a better one will come around. For Danae, the Nine of Cups, it will be a happy move. That's from Joanne. From Tram Tiffany, for Lori, the Fool, yes, you'll get the job, but I feel like you might get a job different from what you expected. So maybe in a different field. From Diana, for Danae, Seven of Wands, it will be a bit of a struggle, but it will come through in the end. For the same question for Maureen, Six of Swords. Concentrate on looking near the water or possibly a move out of your current state of residence. Same question from Tracy, Nine of Pentacles. Somewhere there is a garden nearby, or a place with a nice garden, secluded, a lot of green, near a golf course maybe. That came out of the blue. For Natalie, from Irene, the Five of Pentacles. She says work in the service. From Lori says thank you. From Julie, Natalie, Queen of Cups. Follow your heart, Natalie, says Julie. From Joanne, Natalie, is she in competition for a particular position? Maybe someone trying to steal it from under her. Didn't say what card that is, but you should be aware. Amy's reversing the Nine of Pentacles for Natalie and got the Three of Pentacles. Know that you will have valuable input that others will value. You are an asset. From Maureen, for Natalie, Queen of Pentacles, success and stability, material comfort. Steve says Natalie will get a job and it will lead to another job. Kristen says, Natalie gets the Ten of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. I think you're done in your current career. Maybe time to learn a new skill. From Lola for Natalie, Ten of Pentacles. Financial stability is coming your way. Now, here's Joanne for Rowdy. This is for Karen. Rowdy, that's fine. We get who we're talking about here. That's perfect. Strength. Do what you can and what you have to do. Stay strong to help Rowdy through this ideal. Diana got the Ace of Cups for Rowdy. That's beautiful. And Isaac is here. Isaac, I haven't seen you in so long. It's good to see you here. Okay. Tracy for Karen. This is about Rowdy the dog. The Ace of Wands. Funny, but I feel some type of heat treatment might work. Moving blocked energies in some way. Love to Rowdy. From Maureen for Rowdy. And we know Maureen's an animal person here too, so she can relate. Six of Cups. You know what needs to be done. You've done it before. Karen says Rowdy has just gone blind. From Irene, Karen, the world. Ask the distant healers community for help and blessings. Okay, let's see, and lots of, Lots of thank yous and all of that good stuff too. Okay, so we are coming to the end of our time for questions. I do apologize for the people we didn't get to. I am going to take one more question. I'm just going to scroll through. It's not in order. I do apologize, but I'm so excited to see so many people here. And I actually even see Amy's awesome dude here. So how great is that, Ryan? I don't know if you were here when we were talking about you behind your back, but it wasn't bad. So there you go. And obviously, since I'm not getting to all these comments, there are some other readings in the comments. So go ahead and look. There's more conversation going on here than I'm going to be able to share. So let's see. One more question. Let's see. One more question. I am not finding any questions right this minute. Let's see. Oh, here it is from Maria. Maria wants to know about her love life. Okay, let's do that. I haven't seen you in so long, Maria. It's so nice to see you here. She wants to know about her boyfriend, about her love life. I'd like to know about my love life, if my ex-boyfriend and I will be getting back together. So this is our final reading. Definitely read through the comments to make sure you get all the reading goodness here because there is so much of it. But let's do one more for Maria. Will she and her ex-boyfriend get back together? That's such a typical tarot question, isn't it? Okay, what do we see there? Six of Swords. You know, this has been such a popular card today. And I would say, you know, and so often when we talk about getting back together, like I can hear a million professional tarot readers groaning saying, no, you're not going to get back together. Because so often at our table are people with really abusive relationships that have been on and off for a long time who want to get back together and it's not in their best interest. In this case though, Maria, the Six of Swords does suggest that there is a possibility to move things forward as long as you guys are willing to be logical and communicate with each other rather than being so overrun with the emotions here. More communication, more logic, and there is a chance for reconciliation. That's what I see. Let's see what other people have to say. Diana says 10 of Pentacles could be that breakup before you make the final commitment. So Diana agrees with me. It's a possibility. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now let's get on to our two areas of tarot questions. And really both of these are questions more for a professional, from a professional perspective. But I think most of us, whether or not we're all professional readers here, I think even those who aren't professionals, some of us may be aspiring to that. And we all like to be good at readings, whether we're doing it out of love or whether we're doing it as a career or both. So the two questions, we'll handle them one at a time. And the first was Allison's question, which is about what happens when you go stale. So go ahead and comment on all of this. And my first question to you is, have you had that experience of going stale? When she asked the question, she was talking specifically about a deck. For her, it seemed deck related. That when she's working with that same deck over and over again, a favorite deck, eventually she starts to feel herself saying the same things about the cards and just not feeling so fresh. If you've had that experience, I'd love to hear about it. I understand that experience, and for me, it's not always deck related, although there are times that bringing in a new deck can get you out of that, truly. But sometimes you can bring in a new deck and it still sort of feels the same. You feel like you're in a rut. How do you get out of that? I have a couple of things that I do. And I will tell you, this has not happened to me in many, many years. I feel like I've gotten past this. But let me tell you how I've worked with this in the past. So number one is get a new deck. That can help. Number two, and this is a Mary Greer trick. When you're reading, say the name of the card when the card comes up. I don't tend to do that in my readings. Some readers do it in every reading. This is the Ace of Swords. This is what it means. Many of us, though, don't say the name of the card. So if you don't, just for a reading or two, say the name of the card that comes up. And when you say the name of the card, there is a resonance that happens and new words may start to come to you. So that's one thing. Another thing has to do with invocation. Lately, I've really been thinking about how important invocation is as part of a tarot reading. When we create sacred space, we are doing invocation. We may be inviting in our ancestors, our angels, our guides and guardians, the guides and guardians of our client, their higher self. We may be inviting in all of these energies, but I don't know that we always do that as clearly and in as focused a way as we should. So pay stronger attention to your work with invocation, inviting in spirit. I think that can make a huge difference. The other thing is to read a book by a new author. It doesn't have to be anything about tarot. It could be a freaking Nora Roberts romance. It doesn't matter. Just read a book, and read a book by an author you haven't read in a long time or ever. And that will just give you some new vocabulary words, and that will help too. So those are some things that I do. If you have things that you do, go ahead and chat them in. Let's look and see what we've got going on here. And I'm stuck with Blind Rowdy in my head. I have to tell you that. And I wanted to do one more card for Rowdy, for Karen, about how Rowdy is dealing with his blindness. How does Rowdy feel about being blind? And the card I get is Temperance. Rowdy has plenty of other senses. His blindness is not as hard for him as it would be for a human. That's what comes up for me about that. I just wanted to share that. Okay. Lots of good readings here. Make sure you read through. And let's see. Oh, about being stale from Julie. For me, this means a rest, time out, and grounding is needed. If no other decks are calling to me, I usually focus on connecting with spirit directly instead. Kristen says she likes the naming of the card idea. It really works. Mary's so funny when she does it. She's like, say the name of the card. It works. Tracy says, hasn't happened to me being stale, but I have thrown out a deck that just went off, gave bad vibes and readings, and I used to get fantastic readings with this deck. This has only ever happened to me once in 20 years, and it was with a Lenormand deck. So, it's so funny how we are with our decks. I think we all have different ways of dealing with our decks and either amorphizing our decks or not. It's such an interesting thing, the relationships that readers have with their decks. Allison says, I'm diving into Joseph Campbell's work right now. I just had a new revelation on the Wheel of Fortune when I linked his work to the card. Brilliant. And Karen about Rowdy says, thanks again. He's handling it better than I am. Yeah, that's my point. Exactly. I think Rowdy is being okay with it. Karen's having the issue here. I do. I think that. Okay. So now the next question came from Amy and is about doing readings in public. And she didn't say this, but the idea I got was basically doing readings in what might be a cattle call, where there's a line or where there's a lot of people, or maybe you're at a venue and people are walking by and you want to make some commotion at your table. She wants to know mechanically, how do you do those kinds of readings? We all recognize there's a huge difference between doing a reading at let's see. Okay. So, just this Saturday, Barbara O'Brien, who's not here tonight, But she and I were both at a women's health conference, a women's body, mind, and spirit health conference doing readings. And so that's a sort of a situation where people are milling about doing all kinds of things, and you want to bring people in and create a little bit of a commotion. You want to do great readings so that they'll take your card and call you, but you want it to be really, really quick. So how do you do it? What is your structure for that? Excuse me. I can tell you what I do. And this is funny. I don't know that other people do it the way I do it, but it works for me. Maybe it would work for you. I always do the same spread, whether I am doing a 3-minute reading, a 10-minute reading, a half-hour long reading, or an hour-long reading. I always put out the same damn 11 cards. I do an 11-card Celtic Cross. So if I'm doing just the quick hit, I've got the person at my table for just a few minutes. Or, you know where else I do quick hits is on the radio. If I'm doing a reading on the radio, that can happen too. Now, on the radio, I probably won't do the 11 cards. So I'll talk about that kind of a quick hit too. But if someone is sitting in front of me, I'm going to put out the 11 cards and I am not going to go card by card. I am just going to say to them the things that strike me most, and I'm going to try to do it with strength and with humor. Your husband's not much of a communicator, is he? Might be something that comes up. I see you're not the world's most patient person, are you? What I'm looking for is personal comments. Looks like you've got a problem with your job. Or who is this very difficult woman in your life? Look for something that you're very sure exists and hit them with that. Do that a couple of times and you have a picture. You know where the big questions are. Then what I do is pick up all the cards and do essentially what we're doing here, ask the questions. Okay, we've identified a particular difficult person in your life. Now let's talk about how to deal with that person. Let's pull a couple cards. So that's how I do it. Let's take a look and see how you do it. Okay. And about going stale, Martha says, no, I haven't gone stale yet. Still working with a favorite deck, and instead of stale, more of a depth of comfort, not a rut. And you know what? You may not ever go stale. The thing is, if you're feeling like you're going stale, get it in that first reading. And I'm going to tell you something else too. I have had readings where I've felt stale, where I haven't felt the energy, where after the reading I felt not so fresh. And I've heard feedback from those readings that those readings were awesome. So even if you're not feeling great in the reading, doesn't mean that the reading's bad. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it can go the other way too, that you're feeling like the reading was great and your client walks away sort of feeling like, well, that wasn't really what I was looking for. So, I guess what I'm saying here as an aside is how you as the reader feel about the reading may or may not reflect how the client feels about the reading. So there's that. And Amy says, I feel stale with all of my Oracle decks. Well, I can tell you about that, Amy. Here's my theory anyway. I think that before you really learned tarot, you were enjoying the oracles because you know what? When it comes to oracles, we don't really have to learn them. We have to just be open to spirit, which is great. But now that you've learned the structure of tarot and you see the complexity of how that is, I think you need to look at coming back to your oracle decks and using them in a different way with a different energy. Now, I noticed Maria Marchetti showed up here. I don't know if you're still here, Maria, but I'm so glad. Speaking of oracle decks, I just have to share with you, Maria is lucky enough to be married to Ciro Marchetti, who is one of the best living tarot artists that ever existed. And he's also made an oracle deck called the Oracle of Visions. I have been having so much fun bringing this oracle deck to classes and having people play with it. In fact, Maureen, who is here, played with it at our last Tarot Circle meeting. And I just have so much fun with this. So I think there are a lot of ways we can use oracle decks. We have to be creative about it. But tarot does provide a whole different structure. Okay. And Lori wants to know if the information I'm giving right now is in my new books. So a lot of it is, and that's a great segue to let you know what's going on with the second edition of Fortune Stellar, which many of you have supported and many of you are waiting for with bated breath. We are so close now. I'm a couple of months. When all is said and done, I'm going to be probably 2 months late from my deadline, and I apologize for that. It is sheer naivete and an expanded sense of capacity that causes me to be late. I really did not realize how much work it would be for me to do the updates for that book. A lot has happened in 7 years. I have added, it's going to be at the end of the day, more than 10,000 words to this original manuscript. So it's going to be really good. I'm really excited about it. And should be out, I'm thinking the middle of next month of September. So I'm very excited. In terms of the other two books, Tarot Tour Guide will have some of this information. Yes. The next book, the mystery book, which is a brand new book, not so much. That's a whole other thing I think you're really going to enjoy. And then the next project after that will be a whole other book about professional tarot reading. Whatever's not in Fortune Stellar will be in that. And that was really my challenge. How do I update this book without turning it into a whole other book? But I think I've done it. And if I say so myself, I'm pretty happy with the way it's coming out. So thanks for your patience with all of that as well. Now, let's see what we've got here. We are coming to our last 6 minutes. Martha likes the term expanded sense of capacity. That's actually not my term. My friend Robin Brace, who owns True Bikram Yoga in Connecticut, talks about that in regards to herself, and I just borrowed it from her. It is brilliant, right? So you can borrow it from me. That's fine. Now from Maureen, regarding being stale, incorporate a card or two from an oracle deck, like the Wild Unknown Animal Spirit deck or the Moon deck. You can also use an Ascended Masters deck. It will enhance the reading and bring new energy. I love that. What a great idea. And lots of love here for Chiro. And Allison asks, so how do you incorporate invocation when you are doing quickie readings? Do you do it for each client or once before the doors open? Oh, good question. I do it for each client, and I do it quick. Here is my quick invocation in the cattle call. You guys know what I mean by the cattle call, right? So in the cattle call, person sits down. Here's what I do. Energy to the earth, energy up, all the way up, all the way up, energy to heaven, calling in guides, guardians, angels of my clients and my own, energy down around us to protect us, heart to heart energy with the client, in and go. That's how I do it. It takes 20 seconds. And I do that between each and every person. Now, I also do a larger invocation before the doors open, and that's really about me. And I'll tell you, there's a couple things I'll do there. I like to hold my cards to my heart, to my throat, to my brow. And if I'm feeling particularly tongue-tied, because you have those days. You have those days when you're very eloquent and you know what words to say. And then you have other days when you sort of feel a little tongue-tied. I will take the Ace of Swords and hold it to my throat and do a special invocation to the element of air to help me see the truth, know the truth, and speak the truth in a way that can be heard and understood by my client. So that's my special Ace of Swords invocation. Okay. So we are in our last 3 minutes. To those of you who are watching this in archive, I thank you so much for being here. We do this once a month. If you are not a member of and this is to all of you, not just those of you watching in archive, if you're not a member of Global Tarot Circle, it's a group on Facebook. Just look it up. Ask to join. Would love to have you. And that's where, if you want to direct what we're going to talk about here today, that's where you can, or, the next time we do it. We do this about once a month. I thank you all for being here. And again, I always like to start and end with shameless self-promotion. So drop a link to your website, drop a link to your Facebook page. If you want to drop a link to anything or tell us what you're about, what you're doing, go ahead. I just want to remind you, excuse me, I just coughed and noticed that Joanne was complimenting my hair all at the same time. So thank you and excuse me. Okay. My shameless self-promotion, please go to my website, christianagaudet.com. There is so much there. There's free downloads. There's all kinds of blog posts, all kinds of good tarot stuff. You just got to go exploring. I want to let you know that I do mentoring for your tarot practice. I do readings, of course, and soon I shall be traveling. If you'd like to get a private reading in person in New York City or in Connecticut, please let me know. That's all coming up this month. For those of you who are more local to me, that is in the West Palm area, the Palm City area, that kind of thing, if that's the case for you and you are not a member of my meetups, please join. I'm the organizer of South Florida Tarot Meetup and Tarot Circle Meetup of the Treasure Coast. So please do join. And please join us back here next month. We'll look forward to it. Thank you all so much for being here. Have a wonderful evening. Wow, Giselle just got here. It's nice to see you, and I'll be in your neck of the woods in a couple of weeks, Giselle, just saying. Would love to see you. And, oh, and Lynette's liking my hair too. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Those of you who have curly hair, I know Lori knows what I'm talking about. Curly hair is the most awesome and also most difficult kind of hair. I tell you what. Okay, I see that people are dropping their links. Tracy has dropped her link for Black Cat Tarot readings. Go ahead, drop your links. So glad that you're all here. Thank you so much for being part of our global tarot community. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for being here.